by getting your robo-base sniped as well, you're going to have to do a lot more damage with your DTs, and because he got none down, INnoVation, that's why we saw the roll there at the end where INnoVation just like dropped straight in his natural and just rolled over that army.
It's a sick follow-up. I really like it. It's a very, I guess you could call it a tempo pressure play because it just constantly keeps your opponent on the back foot. He has to be concerned about this pressure. Then he finally wants to move out, and the DTs come in, and you're stuck having to deal with that, making turrets in your main base, and not be able to rally units across the map. As it turns out, though, INnoVation gets out Warp Prism, and just his macro is as perfect as always. Guys, we're going into map number 2, Catalina. Let's get into it.
Up here at the 1 o'clock position, the Protoss player, he's down 0-1. It is Stats of KT Rolster.
Very determined here. And that tough loss, but had a great start, and his build did go the way he planned it originally. He definitely did fake him out. This guy over here to the 9 o'clock, it's INnoVation.
Yeah. You were talking a bit about how Catalina, pretty much the only map here that's like pretty significantly Terran favored.
You know, a lot of people have changed their mind on that recently because of how strong Blink Stalkers are, because the map has a huge area where you can pressure with that. We've seen a lot of Blink Stalker all-ins on this recently. But I still think, in my opinion, it's a little bit Terran favored. I like the map for Terran. And we don't see a lot of Blink all-ins out of Stats. And ooh, look at this. Oh, gas first build.
Bit of a change-up here.
Let's see how he decides to use this. Most likely going to be one of these TY builds with a drop. Most likely with Widow Mines.
Widow Mines, yeah, definitely say. Whereas Stats back at home, just being pretty standard. Gonna have to wait a bit more to see that build fleshed out. He does go for a scout here right after gas.
Yeah, and let's see if he gets lucky with his scout. Looks like he's going the right way. Or is it a scout or is it a proxy? That's something else to keep in mind too.
Yeah. At this point, unless he forgot where the other players spawn on the map, I don't think this is a scout.
Nope.
Probably going to put down a pylon in just a minute.
Sent us out at a timing to where it'd be too early to run into an SCB scout, for example, most likely. So I think that's why he sent it out this early. And with this timing, everything's going to line up for him to drop a Stargate there right away. It could also be DTs, which starts to make a little bit more sense because this is not a good proxy location. It's not that close to the 9 o'clock base. And it's definitely not close if you're unlucky and your opponent scouts the bottom. So I think this actually is going to be a hidden Twilight Council. But look at this. He's saving for 150. I guess I'm wrong. Okay, he makes a Stalker first.
So it's not going to be a rushed out proxy here.
Let's just wait and see, yeah. I guess. I mean, it really could be either way. I lean towards DTs, but... Okay, there's the Twilight Council.
Twilight Council comes down. Keeping that probe there. I think you are right on this one. DTs will be the choice. Out of Stats. He's also, he chrono boosted out that Stalker. Maybe just wants to put on a little bit of poke pressure, defend against possible units coming towards the base, Scouts or Reapers or likewise.
You know what is really the important thing to mention that we haven't really talked about in this game, you know, for how these two builds compare is the build for Stats allows no detection. So without detection, Widow Mines can eventually do a game-ending amount of damage. So it's going to be Blink, actually, he hides instead of Dark Shrine. Unless he decides to do both, which would be very expensive off one base.
Yeah, you know what? I think we're just seeing what we saw in the last one. Just keeping that probe there and waiting. Maybe just put down another forward pylon. Or add gates. Like it seems like he is doing. He's adding 2 right now.
This game could really go either way, because if the Widow Mines get shut down, there's very few units out for INnoVation, because this is a very tech-oriented build where you have a lot of units early that can do a drop. Once that's cleaned up, you kind of have to slowly defend and get your CC up. Players like TY like to add a siege tank, for example. This is a great map for Blink. As I said from the outset of this, oh my god, is he going to see this? No. They miss each other. This is going to get crazy. With no detection, Widow Mines become more useful the more time goes on.
Did INnoVation actually not get to scout that bottom right side? Because he's sending the drop there. That Stalker actually denied the SCV.
Yeah, right.
And he's sending this drop all the way over here where there's nothing. He's like, okay, well, now his army is very out of position. It's been gone from his base for a very long time, and already this blink is about to finish up.
All right, 2 Hellions head towards this base where 2 Stalkers wait. And they're going to be able to push this back. Uh-oh, this is looking terrible for INnoVation. A huge warp into Stalkers. Meanwhile, at that forward warp-in point, and he's got the Mothership Core for vision. He's got plenty of units well split here to actually do a ton of damage. All right. The Stalkers are actually out of position, though. Let's see how much damage the Widowmine gets and, I mean, how quickly he reacts, because he reacts very slowly here. It's going to be tough to actually attack this location as well. He's going to have to blink against that Widowmine or target it. He's actually not even burrowing the Widowmine. Now it does. Just jumps away, though, and it's going to start picking off SCVs.
Yeah, not even bothering those. He can just blink away. And this is totally all in. I mean, he cannot go back on this. He's losing all of his probes.
Yeah, Stats, unfortunately, not having anything to defend. Good blink micro there. Whereas INnoVation has some units to defend, but will they last? Because this is a stronger attack. So the economy for Stats is already gone. INnoVation can make a few units, but they're dying as they spawn, so does it matter? That's the question here. All right, another great dodge there, but the Mothership Core takes some damage.
That it does. Gets a decent time warp here, allowing him to kite
He's
better.
targeting that Widowmine. Can he get it? Oh, that's huge. That's a great pick off there. Now he just needs to slowly micro his way back with these Stalkers. Oh, here come the rest of those Marines, though. He brought them with the dropship. Here those get targeted down, and Stats needs to make this all-in work. He has no more money. He can't make any more units. He can't make any more Stalkers at the very least.
Whereas INnoVation is just slowly mining and getting more units out here. But Stats is trading very efficiently here.
I think that's the end of the game. He can't mine anymore, and he didn't make this work. His units are too low now. He's got, is that all the probes he has? He has 7 probes, yeah.
That's about it here. And he's going to try to run back in there. I'm not sure if, yeah.
And he doesn't dodge the shot. That's all she wrote.
Yeah, I mean, he can try to micro here all day, but there's just continuous Marines coming out. He's got enough SCVs to defend as well as Widowmines.
That was the saddest thing I ever saw, that Widowmine shot. That's going to be game. No amount of micro is going to turn this one around.
GG is called. INnoVation taking it down 2-0 now, looking super strong. Even going to the wrong base there, that was a very interesting way that turned out. The Stalker actually killing the SCV over there.
The Widowmines are really important in this game because you basically can't kill them. And unless you micro perfectly against them, they're always going to keep doing damage defensively against your Stalkers. You had to pick off the second one, but eventually, you know, they kept rallying out. When you're the Protoss defender in this situation, it's really, really tough because you've got 2 things against you. First of all, if there's Marines and Widowmines in your base, Marines can out-DPS any unit that you're going to warp in at home, and if they see it, they're just going to kill it before it even finishes spawning. If it does finish spawning, they're probably going to kill it anyways because it's a gateway unit against Marines and a medevac. And INnoVation, on the other hand, has this defense with the Widowmine. He has rallying units that come out that are eventually pushing the Stalkers back. And you can micro against Widowmines basically perfectly to a certain extent. But once you're dealing with Widowmines and SCVs and Marines that are coming out of the barracks and medevacs to heal them and then units that come home, without detection to clear up that Widowmine, Stats can never mine anymore. And he's on a clock, and he just didn't get the damage done fast enough, and INnoVation barely survived there.
I guess, like, possibly with perfect micro and perfect control, you could have possibly slowly taken down the Terran there, but it's just very hard to have perfect micro in that situation as well.